Feeling like you're hurtling towards 30 and the only thing growing faster than your to-do list is that little voice asking, am I actually getting this money thing right? 1 minute you are celebrating a small win, the next you are wondering if adulting just means being permanently stressed about your bank account. What if I told you that a whopping 79% of young adults have never ever made a budget? And 77 don't have cash stashed away from those oops moments life throws at us. That's a ton of people walking a financial tightrope without a net. If this sounds a bit like you, you're definitely not alone and you've come to the right place. Look, your late 20s and early 30s. They are a huge deal. This is when the money moves you make or don't make really start to add up big time, for better or worse. It's so easy to feel overwhelmed, trying to figure out how to pay today's bills while somehow saving for those big, exciting future plans. But what if you could genuinely connect those dots? What if you could build financial habits that turn everyday money management into long-term security and even success? That's exactly what we are getting into today. We are breaking down these 7 essential financial habits you absolutely need to get a handle on by 30. And these aren't just vague ideas. They are real, actionable steps that will put you in the driver's seat of your finances. Quiet those notifications, go full screen, and let's get started on building your financial fortress. Alright, first up, the big one, budgeting. Yeah, I know, the word itself can make you want to run for the hills. Sounds restrictive, maybe even a bit dull, right? But try thinking of it less like a strict diet and more like a roadmap of your money. It's all about telling your cash where to go instead of scratching your head wondering where it all vanished. A realistic budget means you know what's coming in, every paycheck, every side hustle bit, and what's going out. And I mean everything. From the major stuff like rent or your mortgage and utilities, that's your fixed costs, to the flexible spending on things like groceries, nights out, daily coffee, and other stuff like that. It's about getting crystal clear. It's pretty surprising, but a 2025 study pointed out that a lot of young adults are missing this basic skill, many of them admitting they've never even tried to make a budget. So how do you actually do it? There are a lot of ways, but thanks to my work with people, I have found that the best way to create an adequate and realistic budget that leads to a change in their behavior is that the budget they keep should be accompanied by daily reporting. Keeping a daily Google spreadsheet, for instance, and making the information pass through their hands is a conscious action that builds new thought pathways in a person's brain. After keeping such a report for at least 3 months, an analysis of expenses is done, and this shows the actual standard of living, their quality of life. Remember, what is measured can be improved. In this way, the budget is fully tailored to the person's needs, without forcing you into any predefined frameworks. Analyzing the data may show that you're overspending, but I will tell you exactly what to do about it in a moment as we explore later habits. To make it practical, pick tools that suit you for the daily tracking and overall management. Maybe you're a spreadsheet guru or a bullet journal person. There are tons of budgeting apps now that can do a lot of the heavy lifting, linking right to your bank account and credit card. But the best method I recommend you that I have found is to keep a Google spreadsheet. Even the old school envelope method, physically putting cash into envelopes for different spending categories, still works wonders for some. The real trick is finding a system you actually use consistently. And here's the key bit. A budget isn't something you set up once and then totally forget. Life changes, your income might go up or down, new expenses crop up. That's why you've got to regularly check in and tweak your budget. Maybe monthly or at least every few months, 3, 6 months, 8 months, a year. This keeps it real and makes sure it's still helping you reach your goals. By 30, having this down means you truly get your cash flow, and that's the foundation for every other money goal we're about to talk about. Live below your means and prioritize saving. the wealth building engine. The next habit sounds super simple, but in our world of instant everything and perfectly curated social media lives, it's honestly one of the toughest to nail. Consistently live below your means and make saving a non-negotiable. Plain is simple. It means spending less than you earn. The space between what you make and what you spend, that's your secret weapon. That's your wealth building engine. Lots of folks in their 20s and 30s see their income climb as their careers take off. That's brilliant, but it also brings the temptations of lifestyle creep, where your spending just naturally inflates to match your bigger paycheck. New car, bigger place, fancier meals. It's so easy nowadays to let those wants sneak in and gobble up any extra cash. I will tell you, I was recently about to make a stupid mistake that was heavily influenced by my ego. I was seriously considering buying a brand new Range Rover Sport. Now, don't get me wrong, a part of me would have been incredibly happy with this emotional purchase. But taking a step back, I realized it just wasn't adequate or aligned with my long-term vision for the future at this moment. Also, it's not good to liquidate assets that are working for you to buy such a significant liability. Ego is often the biggest battle we have with ourselves, and I know how difficult it is. It's precisely these moments where you want something really strongly but choose discipline that build your character the most. It's a taught lesson, but as it said in Proverbs, without wisdom, gold is like sand that scatters. If you can fight that urge for instant gratification, or at least be mindful about it, and instead point that extra income toward your savings and investments, you're basically fast-tracking your journey to financial freedom. One of the smartest ways to make saving a priority is to automate it. Treat your savings like any other bill. As soon as your paycheck lands, have an automatic transfer set up to whisk a set amount into your savings or investments account. This pay yourself first method means you're not just trying to save whatever's left at the end of the month, which, let's to be honest, is often zero. I want to emphasize that paying yourself first is completely different from savings. You're making your saving and investing happen on purpose every single time. And please, don't underestimate how powerful small, regular savings can be. Even if it doesn't feel like much, saving consistently can grow into a serious nest egg over time, all thanks to the magic of compounding returns. The earlier you start, the more compounding can work its wonders. This isn't just about having cash for a rainy day, it's about building a capital that can start working for you. And living below your means isn't about feeling deprived, it's about making smart choices today that give you way more options and freedom down the road. It's about looking out for your future self just as much as your present self. I'm pretty sure that you've maybe heard that before, but this is where your habit tree steps in. Build and look after an emergency fund. Think of it as your financial bodyguard, protecting you from those money shocks life loves to throw our way. The usual advice is to start by saving at least $1,000 for a quick access emergency stash. This can handle smaller unexpected stuff, but the main goal is to beef this up to cover 3 to 6 months, sometimes even year worth of essential living costs. Figure out what you absolutely need to live on each month, like rent, mortgage, utilities, food, transport, insurance, and then multiply that by 3 to 6 months. That's your magic number. An emergency fund stops you from having to whack unexpected expenses on high interest credit card or take out loans. When surprise costs blow up your budget, it can be a huge setback, creating debt that then makes it harder to save and invest for your bigger goals. Your emergency fund is the buffer between a minor hiccup and full-blown financial meltdown. Treat your emergency fund contributions like any other essential monthly bill. Once it's fully funded, keep it in a separate savings account that you can get to easily, not mixed in with your everyday checking, but also not locked away in long-term investments where you can grab it quickly without penalties. And if you do have to use some of it, make refilling it your top priority. This habit isn't just about money, it's about the peace of mind that you will have. Knowing you have that safety net can seriously cut down on financial stress. And basically, that's what we actually need. Habit 4. Set clear financial goals and review progress regularly. Your financial roadmap. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And that's definitely not a great plan for your money. Habit 4 is all about setting clear, specific financial goals and then regularly checking in on how you're doing. This is your financial GPS. It's not enough just to say, I want to be rich or I need to save more. Your goals need to be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Write them down. For example, instead of save for a down payment, a smart goal would be save 20,000 for a house down payment in 5 years by putting aside $333 each month. That kind of clarity makes it much easier to make a plan and stay motivated. A 2022 study mentioned that only 21% of people in Europe surveyed strongly agreed they set long-term financial goals and work towards them. That shows a lot of us could get better at this. You should have a mix of short-term and long-term goals. Short-term goals could be things like paying off a particular credit card in 6 months, saving for a holiday next year, or building up that initial $1,000 emergency fund. Long-term goals are different, like buying a home, being completely debt-free, saving for retirement, or maybe even starting your own business that you're passionate about. Once your goals are set, the work doesn't stop. You need to check in on your progress regularly. Pencil in an annual or semi-annual financial review with yourself and your partner if you share finances. This is your time to look at your budget, your savings, your investments, and your debt. Are you on track? What's working well? What's not? This review process lets you celebrate your wins, which is a fantastic motivator, and also make any tweaks to your plan. Maybe you need to save a bit more, or perhaps one goal isn't as important anymore and a new one has popped up. Life happens and your financial plan needs to be able to roll with the punches. By 30, having this habit of setting goals and reviewing them regularly will keep you focused and moving steadily toward the financial future you really want. Manage debt wisely and build credit, your financial reputation. Debt can feel like a scary word, but not all debt is bad, and learning to handle it smartly is a super important habit by 30. Hand in hand with this, you need to actively build and keep up a good credit history. That's basically your financial reputation. Let's talk about debt management first. High interest debt like credit card balances or personal loans can be massive anchor dragging down your finances. Those interest charges just chew away at your income and make it way harder to save and invest. So, a top priority should be to pay off this kind of debt as fast as you can. Methods like the debt snowball, paying off the smallest debts first for quick wins, or the debt avalanche, tackling the debts with the highest interest rates first to save more money, can be really effective. A key part of managing debt and building credit is making all your payments on time, every single time. Late payments can mean fees, and more importantly, they can ding your credit score. Think about setting up automatic payments for at least the minimum amounts due on all your debt so you don't accidentally miss one. Now, about building credit. It might sound a bit odd if you're trying to avoid debt, but using credit responsibly is essential for a strong credit history. A good credit score is a big deal for your financial future. It affects whether you can get loans for major purchases like car or house, or just like financial opportunities, investments, and it influences the interest rates you'll be offered. It can even affect your ability to rent an apartment or get certain jobs. Using a credit card for small planned purchases that you pay off in full every month is a great way to build a positive credit history. Try to keep your credit utilization low, meaning not maxing out your credit cards. Finally, make it a habit to check your credit report regularly. Look for any mistakes or signs of identity theft. Understanding your credit report and score gives you the power to take steps to improve it. By 30, being on top of your debt and having a healthy credit score opens so many doors and can save you a serious amount of money in the long run. Habit 6 is to start investing early for long-term growth, your future wealth multiplier. If you really want to build serious long-term wealth, just saving your cash often isn't enough, especially with inflation nibbling away at its value over time. The years leading up to 30 are an amazing opportunity to really use the power of compounding. So, what's compounding for those who don't know? Basically, it's when your investment earnings start making their own earnings. Imagine snowball rolling downhill. It picks up more snow, getting bigger and faster as it goes. The earlier you start, even with small amounts, the more time your money has to grow, potentially by a lot. Even putting away a modest amount each month can grow into something substantial over decades. One of the first places to look for investing options is a retirement account. Don't be put off if you think investing sounds too complicated. You don't need to be a Wall Street whiz. Start by learning the basics of investing. There are tons of books, podcasts, and online resources out there. Think about low-cost index funds or ETFs, exchange-traded funds. These give you instant diversification by spreading your money across a wide range of stocks or bonds. Diversification is your friend when it comes to managing risk. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. The most important thing is to just start, even if it's a small amount each month. As your income grows, you can bump up your contributions. Time is your biggest advantage when it comes to investing. Someone who starts investing $200 a month in their early 20s will likely end up with much more wealth than someone who starts investing $500 a month in their 40s. It's all because of that longer runway for compounding. Getting this habit down by 30 will make a massive difference to your financial future and your chances of retiring comfortably. Which of these 7 habits do you feel like you are already nailing? And which one are you going to focus on mastering next? I love to hear from you. Drop a comment below because it's a great way for all of us to learn from each other. Habit 7. Practice mindful spending and financial self-awareness. Your financial wisdom. This isn't just about spreadsheets and numbers. It's about understanding your personal relationship with money, what triggers your spending, and making sure your financial actions line up with your values and goals. This is where we also tackle that potential overspending we've talked about earlier. Mindful spending means really being conscious of where your money is going and, crucially, why. It's about shifting from impulsive, reactive buys to intentional, value-driven spending. Do you remember the daily tracking we've talked about in Habit 1? That data is golden here. One of the first steps if you've identified overspending is to look at that detailed tracking of your spending. Not to beat yourself up, but to see what's actually happening. You might be really surprised where your cash is disappearing to. Once you have that clarity, you can spot areas where you could cut back without really feeling like you're missing out. Maybe it's a few fewer takeout meals, or canceling 1 or 2 subscriptions you don't actually use. It's just about making conscious choices. To help curb those impulse buys, try strategies like want list. If you see something you want that isn't a genuine need, pop it on a list and wait 24 hours or even a week or 30 days. So often that strong urge to buy just fades away. This simple pause can save you a surprising amount of money and that awful buyer's remorse. If you're struggling with spending, you can watch this video above after this one. Financial self-awareness also means getting to know your emotional connection to money. Do you tend to spend more when you're stressed or bored? Do you feel pressure to keep up with the spending habits of your friends or colleagues? That dreaded FOMO, fear of missing out. Just recognizing these patterns is the first step to changing them. A great way to build this awareness and stay on track is to schedule a regular money dates with yourself or with your partner if you manage finances together. This is dedicated time to go over your budget, talk about your financial goals, celebrate your progress, and tackle any challenges. It keeps your financial well-being front and center. Mindful finance can also stretch to how you give. If giving to charity is important to you, build it into your budget thoughtfully and intentionally, making sure your donations align with what you care about. That's important. By 30, having this habit of mindful spending and financial self-awareness means you're not just blindly following rules. You're making smart, conscious decisions that reflect what truly matters to you. It's about building a financial life that's healthy, sustainable, and genuinely fulfilling. Getting these habits down isn't about becoming a financial wizard overnight. It's about consistent effort, making those small, smart choices every day that really add up over time. Remember, struggling with money know-how is pretty common, with lots of young people not feeling too confident about their financial knowledge. But by taking these steps, you're actively building that knowledge and taking back control. I have to say it, but the journey to financial security is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. The earlier you look these habits in, the bigger their impact will be. But the most important thing, just start. Start today. By the way, if you'd like to explore this topic a bit deeper, I've added a link below. Feel free to check it out when you have a moment. It's simply there if you want more tools to help you move forward. Bye.